would like to read out this very important disclaimer. By watching our videos, you agree and understand that the information provided by our experts and attorneys, including comments and replies from users, is not legal advice. Use of information is at your own risk. And after this very important disclaimer, I have a fantastic opportunity for you guys. Yes, if you're looking for a flexible work from home opportunity, we have a work for you. Work just 2 hours a day on a monthly pay of 5,000 Indian rupees plus 500 rupees for every meeting you attend. Earn up to 20,000 Indian rupees per month. Responsibilities will include managing social media, creating engaging content, responding to messages, monitoring analytics, and conducting research and data entry. All you require is your own computer, a reliable internet connection, knowledge of LinkedIn, basic English writing skills, the ability to work independently, Aadhaar card, the ability to use your real name on social media, and that's it. And to apply, you can email to shravanti.shodavarupu@higheritpeople.com. So apply now. All right. So after this, I'm thrilled to have you join us for another exciting and insightful episode. Today, we are tackling another interesting topic that leaves many of us scratching our heads, basically. And the topic is, why did my B-1 and B-2 visa get rejected? And now I know it can be very frustrating and confusing to receive a visa denial. The questions, the doubts, and the uncertainty can be overwhelming. But fear not, because we have again the very famous and also the very insightful our former US consular visa officer, none other than Yvette Bansal. So without any further ado, Yvette, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I appreciate it, Rajni.
And I said you're very famous, and which you are, of course, because with the show didn't even start and we already started getting a lot of questions, see, as you can see. So from Divakar, and then Ishita is also here, Farazi is also here, so a lot many people basically. So Yvette, welcome back. We were on a break for last 2 weeks, but then it's good to have you back. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing really good. Helping a lot of F1 student applicants these days. I added three new former consular officers to the UdetiVisa's lineup of consultants. So we have more depth to the team. So it's been really good this summer, or going into the summer. How about you, Rajni?
It's going great here too. Thank you so much for asking, and I'm so happy to have you back. And I would like to let our viewers know that we are not only live on Immigration and Jobs Talk Show, but we are also live on Yvette's channel, which is UdetiVisa. So make sure to tune in on both the platforms and to subscribe to both the platforms. And we are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the handle is Immigration Talk Show. So UdetiVisa and Immigration Talk Show. So you can post your comments on both the platforms if you want. Without any further ado, Yvette, let's quickly take our audience's question because they are really waiting for your answer. Okay, so Farizi, okay, I hope that's how we pronounce it. Farizi is what it says. The person says, how long work experience do ones need in their home country after they finished F1 or J1? Is 1 year enough for B1, B2? Would you like to take it?
So, yes. So the question is, once I complete my F1 degree or my J1 program, how long do I have to wait before I apply for a B1, B2 visa? The question is, it really depends. There's no rule. You have to have a valid reason for traveling to the United States again. So the consular officer is going to want to know why you want to travel to the United States. And it really depends on your home ties, what you're doing in your home country, how maybe you're using that F1 degree. For example, if you graduated from a top program and now you're working at a good company and you want to go for a B1, B2 to either visit somebody in the United States or for a conference, that's totally appropriate. But if you don't have a convincing reason for travel, or maybe your ties in your home country, you haven't gotten a job yet, and it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get a visa. There's no real rule. It just depends.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Farzi, I hope you have got your question answer. Thank you so much for your question. Let's, without any further, because last week last time when we did the show, there were many questions from the people, and then there were a few contacting me on WhatsApp also that, my question was not picked up. So that's why I'm connecting with you here. So I don't want to waste any time and quickly dive into the viewers' questions. So thank you so much, Farzi. Let us know where you're watching this live session from. Meanwhile, let's take Ishita's question. So Ishita says, there is a lot stamp passport seller in India. Is it a good idea to purchase them? Will the consular officer check? What do you have to
Yes.
say on it?
So the question is I want to buy a fake stamp to show the consular officer that I've been to a country that I've never been to before. There's a lot of ways the consular officer can sniff out this fraudulent activity. And if you're caught, it could lead to permanent ineligibilities and even arrest. So there's very high consequences for 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 this type of activity. So I would definitely suggest that you don't go for any stamps in your passports to countries that you've never been to. First of all, the consular officer is going to ask you, what did you do in that country? Consular officers are obviously very well traveled. So, for example, also there's another way they're able to detect this lie. They're trained in certain ways to see fake visas and fake stamps. If something doesn't look right, that can get you in trouble. Also, if you're not able to speak to what you were doing in that country, that's gonna raise a red flag. If you're going to a country that people within your country don't usually go to, like I saw somebody at the visa window and they had on their DS-160 that they've been to Jordan. That's not a normal country that I usually see at the visa window from Indians. Usually I see Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai, Indonesia, but Jordan. And so I asked him what he did there, and he was just like stunned, and he was like, "Stuff. I did the tourist stuff." And it wasn't very specific, so the consular officer can start to wonder, did you travel to that country? So there's a lot of yeah. So I see the follow-up question here, Rajni.
Yeah.
I'll let you read it though.
Yeah. So the follow up says Cuba, North Korea, Iran, Russia, Syria, Ukraine. Those countries that I just mentioned, is that a red flag or a green flag if I visited them as a tourist when applying for B-1, B-2?
Yeah, and all those countries are going to be a red flag. So, you're talking about getting a stamp, and then you're talking about getting a stamp to a country that either you're not allowed to visit at all, or is in current conflict, or doesn't have good relationships with the United States. And so then the consular officer is going to be scared. What's going on? Why did you visit that country? Well, you will definitely get questions about your purpose of travel at that point in time. So
Or Ishita, maybe you can let us know, why do you want to visit these countries, right? If you are at all wanting to visit these countries, but even you are someone who must have seen it all, right? As a counselor of former counselor officer, you must have seen it all. You must have had experience regarding countless visa application. But did you ever get a question about getting a fake stamp?
this is a first, and especially asking about a fake visa stamp to a country that you usually tourists would not go to, especially from your home country. So if you're not going as a tourist, what activities are you doing in that country? So the consular officer wants to know these things, where you go and what you're doing in those countries. I've never gotten that question before. No.
Wow. Okay. So it is the first time then. So Ishita, may
Mhm.
also let us know where you are watching this live session from. And yes, where are you from? Where are you watching this live session from? Please let us know more about yourself. Meanwhile, let's take Divakar's question. And Divakar says, I have been to Azerbaijan 4 years ago, but they did not stamp my passport. I think because everything is electronic now, will this data be available on officer screen?
If you have visited a country within the last 5 years, just listed on the DS-160, so the consular officer will not likely know this information unless you list it on your DS-160. If you don't have a stamp on your passport that said that you visited a country. Mhm.
Okay, all right. So Divakar also has a follow up. So he says, I also have Japan stamp, but it is on the middle page of my passport. I'm afraid the officer won't see it.
He may not go through your passport. That's why if you visited in the last like 5 years, mention in the DS 160, he won't miss it on the DS 160. But if it's in the middle of your passport, not all consular officers, will go through every page of your passport. Mhm.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much, Divakar. Thank you so much for your question. Let us know if you have another follow up and where you're watching this live session from. Meanwhile, let's take a question from UdetiVisa, which has been posted on your channel, Yvette. Bobby by Bob, okay, says, have you had any clients who got multiple refusals, like 4, 5, or more, but finally they still got visa approval? Could you tell the story? Do we have a time for?
So just really quickly, I had a client that was from the Philippines, and she lived in the UK, and she had multiple visa approvals. I mean, multiple visa denials for various reasons. However, she had a established job in the healthcare industry in the UK. I helped her, with how to answer questions for the consular
Mhm.
officer. She ended up getting her visa after about four refusals. The circumstances were, she did not frame her purpose of travel very well in one of the interviews. I think the earlier interviews, she didn't have good ties. So her circumstances in her case had changed. She was older, she was more established. She had a lot to lose if she were to not be a nurse or in the healthcare industry in the UK. So yeah, so I was able to help her in that case. So there
Mhm.
are situations in which you can have multiple refusals and still overcome um, a refusal. But if you're applying, back to back to back to back, and your profile is not that strong, and it is difficult to overcome that number of refusals, no doubt.
Right. Okay. So, Bobby, I hope you've got the answer. Thank you so much for your question. Let us know where you're watching this live session from. Meanwhile, let's quickly take Abhipal's question. Abhipal says, Yvette, I want to thank you. My F1 visa is approved after refusal. My first interview, the visa officer liked my profile until I tell her about my father is in the US through green card lottery. And then the second visa officer, a middle-aged white man, he only asked me about my acceptance and 4 minutes about my father. He's smiling and he seems okay with my father in the US. I guess it depends on a VO's personality and interpretation of the law. What do you have to say, Yvette?
Yeah, I agree. I think that if the second VO may have focused more on your strength as an F1 applicant, which is what the consular officers should be looking at, that your intent to be a student, and maybe the first VO was a little bit more concerned about your home ties. But why are you thanking me? Did you watch any videos that were helpful to you?
All right. So thank you again, Abhipal, for your question. Do we have a follow up? I think I saw a follow up. Okay, I think we already have taken. So thank you so much. I'm also getting questions on WhatsApp as well, Yvette. So that's why I was also checking
Sure.
my WhatsApp. So maybe after answering few from the YouTube, then we can go ahead and take WhatsApp questions. Let's take Shub. Okay, maybe Shubdeep, yeah, Shubdeep Singh. It's true. Is it true before interview officer decided they give B-1 B-2 visa or not? Good vibes. I don't
So
understand the
they,
question.
I'm gonna ignore the good vibes, but I don't. They don't make the decision ahead of time. They
Uh-huh.
make the decision on the spot based on your DS 160 and the interview. Mhm.
Okay, okay. All right, Shubdeep, thank you for your question. Let's quickly have Mix's question. So he says, Shoaib here. I was rejected last year in August 2023 from Dubai consulate. I applied for Miramar Air Show, San Diego. I'm passionate about aeroplanes and was attending the air shows and defense exhibition and then I have my own YouTube channel about aeroplanes, and now I want to apply again. Please tell me. Please tell him, Yvette.
I can't because I don't know what the question is.
Okay, okay, we have another follow up here. He says, I was attending the air shows and defense exhibition in United Arab Emirates from past 10 years.
Okay, so
Okay.
you want to go to an air show in the United States on a
Yeah, I
B-1,
think
B-2
so.
visa.
I think, yeah, I think he said something about he being rejected, right?
Okay, so if you want to attend on a B-1, B-2 visa for air
Mm-hmm.
shows, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been rejected before, what can you do the next time around? So it's you have a history of going to air shows, so make sure that you start off strong when you answer why are you going to the United States. You can start off really strong. You can say I want to go to uh, the Miramar Air Show in San Diego. I've attended 7 air shows in the last 10 years in Dubai, UAE, Sharjah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm able to finance my trip through, personal savings of like, $30,000 or something like that. So just very strong. So you don't even have to talk about financing in the first question if you don't have time. But notice how I started, instead of just what's my purpose of travel, I want to go for tourism. I'm very, very specific. I want to go to this air show. Then I'm adding something that is really strong about my profile, which is that I've traveled internationally for air shows before. It establishes a pattern of solo travel for the same purpose. So start off strong. That's definitely one thing that I would advise. Make sure you're communicating finances and ties in a very direct way. If you have a large amount of savings, if you have a lot of immovable assets, how you're financing your trip. If you live with your parents or you have other ties, if you have a college degree or a master's degree, those are all helpful points to discuss, because then the next question is like, what do you do? Well, I have a master's degree in electronics and I've been working in the industry for 10 years. I live in a joint family. So now you're just really rattling off a lot of your ties. So whatever that strength is, and each case is different, but whatever your strengths are, lead with those strengths. And then, yeah, they're gonna look at your purpose of travel, your ties, and your financing for that B-1, B-2 visa, having details about the air show, an appropriate length of time
Mm-hmm.
for how long you want to be there. So if you want to go for an air show, it's not appropriate to say I want to go for a month or 2 months. That doesn't make sense. An air show is just a couple days. So having an appropriate length of time, 2 weeks, 1 week, a week and a half, something like that makes a lot of sense. Be prepared for follow up questions about, are you getting leave from your office, or etc., stuff like that. Expect that. And if you have a agenda for the air show or some sort of handout or pamphlet that describes the air show in more detail, that's also helpful. So these are some ways you can help yourself overcome that refusal.
Wow, thank you so much for the answer, Yvette. And Mick says, I hope, Shoaib, actually. So, Shoaib, I hope you have got the answer. Yvette has given you some tips and tricks, what you can do, so you can maybe follow them. And let us know where you're watching this live session from. And meanwhile, let's quickly take, okay, is there a US visa only for 2 to 3 days?
Generally, a US visa is given for 10 years or 5 years, depending on the country that you're applying from. The Border Patrol officer decides how long you're able to stay in the United States once you have a US visa, but it's generally for up to 6 months. So
Mm-hmm.
when a consular officer issues a visa for a B-1, B-2, they look at you and determine, are you qualified for the full validity visa? It's very rare that they would limit a visa. And
Okay.
so there is no short-term visa for just 2 to 3 days. Like, doesn't work like that.
Okay. All right. Uh, let's take another question, maybe. Shino. Let's take Shino's question. So Shino says, if my B-1, B-2 visa application is rejected, what can I do? Are there options for appealing the decision or exploring alternative visa routes to accomplish my travel or business goals in the US?
So you can't appeal the decision. You can apply again. B1, B2 is for short term business travel and tourism, and other types of visas are very specific to the activities that you would do on that visa. So you would have to research other types of visas. However, we know the H1Bs, F1, J1s all have their own set of uh, stipulations. So if your goal is to do a business conference, you're very limited to a B1, B2 visa for that business conference, with very rare exception. There is like a very specific niche, but I won't go into that. So you are limited to that B1, B2 visa.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Shino, for your question. So I'm getting a lot of questions here. I'm confused, who to take. So I am just trying to think. Maybe Pradyuman. Pradyuman. So Pradyuman says denial under 214B dated 6 March 2019. After denial, the following life events happen. I got married on 12th June 2019 and now have a small 2.5-year-old kid enrolled in school. My wife also works. I think we have a follow up, another part. The second part says, I have added above in the clarification box for have you ever been refused a US? I have submitted this as a clarification for have you ever refused your visa earlier for clarification box. Sorry, have you refused
Okay,
visa earlier clarification
I
box?
I'll kind of help you out here for everybody that's watching. So, if you've ever been refused a visa, any type of visa, in the explanation box, just write 214B. Don't go into the reasons for rejection, because
Mhm.
most of the time you have no idea why you were rejected. And a lot of people, they write things that are not applicable. They make
Mhm.
themselves actually sound worse when they're trying to make themselves sound better. So
Yeah.
don't try to communicate in that explanation box. Just put 214B. Anything else you can communicate verbally to the consular officer. Don't use it as an opportunity to explain anything. It's not going to work.
Okay, I think he wanted to know will this info cause any problem in the interview or rejection? I mean, I think they're not supposed to, but even if they did, will it be getting any?
It's fine. It's fine. If you can't edit it and you want to enter that information, then that's fine. I didn't see anything particularly wrong with that. But if you're able to edit it, or you're just starting a new DS 160, just write 214B. If the consular officer asks you why you were rejected in the past, be like, I'm not clear about the reason for refusal. I'm going to the US for tourism, and then give them your reason and just move forward. Yeah, because you don't know.
Mm, okay. Okay, Pradyuman, I hope you've got the answer. Thank you so much for your question. And okay, he has another follow up. He says, how to show our finances? Can we show stocks or RSU as a part of financial statements in the bank account? Is having less amount. If the
So
bank
most of
account is
the
having less amount.
You bring your financial statements, but most of the time the consular officer is going to judge you about your annual income. They'll ask you about your level of savings. So just tell them what you have in in savings and investments, and what your per annum income is. Um, they may not necessarily look at your finances. If some of your business is in cash, you can tell them your level of savings, and then if they ask for your ITR, you can explain that some of your business dealings are in cash, but make sure that it makes sense. Make sure that this is not a lie. Yeah. So
Mm,
in some businesses, this makes no sense. If you're working for Ernest and Young, you can't tell them that some of your earnings are in cash. But if you're a business owner, and your ITR is showing a little bit less, then I think that you can explain later. Actually, I make more than this, but this is what I report.
mhm.
So I hope that clarifies things for you in terms of finances and what you are expected to show.
Right. I hope it does, Pradyuman, and let us know if you have another follow up if you want to. Okay, so Abhipal is here. So Abhipal says, yes, I watched all your F1 video. Hence, you are. I don't know what's wrong with me. Why am I reading these questions wrong? But okay, let me read it again. Yes, I watched all your F1 video. Hence, you really are helpful for me so much. And as a bonus question, have you met Rajni in person? Please answer the question, Yvette.
That would be such a bonus if I had met Rajni in person. I don't. I don't know why we never met in person. I think that next time we absolutely need to meet in person, Rajni. Have like a drink or coffee. Yeah, unfortunately, I have not met Rajni in
Maybe
person,
when
but
we meet,
hopefully,
we can do a show there.
yes, yes.
I'm sure it's going to be another great episode. And surely, it is also my wish to meet you at one day. Let's see. Let's hope.
Hmm.
And let's take another question. Abhipal, but thank you for your question. All right. So the next question I would like to take is of Abdi. And he says, my friends get into the US with J1 visa for intern at hotel. All her
Hmm.
paperwork is fake, helped by agent. She didn't even
Hmm.
go to the college. Just find a way how to get into the US. How is this possible?
It's possible because sometimes agents are able to put together
Mhm.
paperwork and the person is good at lying.
Okay.
And they tell the consular officer a story. And um, look, people use fake documents.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to get a B-1, B-2 visa. That's why it's hard to get an F-1 visa or a J visa. It's those people who are putting forward fake documents that make it harder for everybody else. Does the US government catch everything? They don't. They don't have the capacity or the tools or the resources to catch everything. They do catch a lot though, and consular officers are very smart.
Mhm.
She might have gotten away with it, but a lot of people do not get away with it. So just because you know somebody that has gotten away with it, it doesn't mean that she'll get away with it forever, right? So she
Mhm.
might have gotten into the United States, but what is she doing now? If she's living illegally or working without a visa, she has limited options in terms of like leaving the country, or she's there out of status. And if she does leave the country, she'll never be able to re-enter the country lawfully again. If her situation is found out. So there is still a lot of fear and consequences. Just because she made it into the country doesn't mean that there isn't fear or consequences, or she won't be found out later.
Right.
So it's just better to go on your own merit, use your visa appropriately and well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, so he also has another part to the question, a second part to it. I feel disappointed with how U.S. government works. It's easy to check whether someone attended college or not, yet she got away with it. I just hate knowing so many honest, genuine applicants get rejected. Well,
No,
what
I
do you?
agree. I agree, and that's why I do what I do. That's why I do visa interview preparation, because I also have a lot of clients who are genuine applicants who are trying to say and do the right things.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there is a flaw in the system, and that's that not every single document can be verified, and that there is a lot of fraud out there. So I feel your pain and your disappointment. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abdi, but your question, and let us know if you have another follow up. And if you want to book a consultation with Yvette, you can visit her website www.udetivisa.com, and you can use our promo code IT People, and you'll be able to get 15% off. So you can do that if you want to connect with Yvette and if you want to book a consultation with her. And if you're looking for a project placement or visa sponsorship, you can reach out to me. My number is +1 732 707 9151. My email is rajni@higherightpeople.com, and you can also visit our website www.higherightpeople.com. Remember, we also sponsor H1B visas and other work visas based on job availability and regulations. Uh, it's a it's a great episode. We are getting a lot of questions. It's an insightful episode, and we always have great episodes with you, Yvette. But if you allow, I would like to take a short break, and maybe
Hmm.
after the break, we can take all these questions.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's quickly go for a break. And guys, I would like to talk about this opportunity that we have for you. If you're looking for a flexible work from home opportunity, work for just 2 hours a day and earn a monthly pay of 5,000 Indian rupees and 500 Indian rupees for every meeting that you attend. Responsibilities will include managing social media posts, creating engaging content, responding to messages, monitoring analytics, and conducting research and data entry. And all you require is your own computer, a reliable internet connection, knowledge of LinkedIn, basic English writing skills, the ability to work independently, Aadhaar card, the ability to use your real name on social media, and you can apply to this opportunity by emailing to shravanti.shodavarupu@higheritpeople.com. Let's go for a quick break, and after the break, we'll come back and take more of your questions.
Officer who adjudicated over 40,000 cases, I saw many applicants struggle to communicate their purpose of travel and finances during the visa interview. With better preparation, many could have secured their visa. At Udeti, I offer one-on-one visa interview strategy sessions. Let my experience be your guide so that you can ace your visa interview.
Are you looking for a flexible work from home opportunity? We have got just the thing for you. Work just 2 hours a day and earn a monthly pay of 5,000 Indian rupees plus rupees 500 for every meeting you attend. Earn up to 20,000 Indian rupees per month. Your responsibilities will include managing social media posts, creating engaging content, responding to messages, monitoring analytics, conducting research and data entry, and all you need is your own computer, a reliable internet connection, knowledge of LinkedIn, basic English writing skills, ability to work independently, Aadhaar card, ability to use your real name on social media. So, ready to join us? Email swapnil@staffinglyhealthcare.com to apply. Don't wait. Join us today and start your journey towards a flexible and rewarding work from home career.
It's a really
Welcome
nice
back,
video,
everyone.
Rajni.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
That
much.
was so good. Yeah, I mean, I want to work from home now.
Thank you so much for saying that, Yvette. And guys, welcome back once again. You're watching Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. And we are taking your questions on why did your B-1 and B-2 visa got rejected. So we'll be taking a lot more now because I can see a lot more people have posted their questions. So let's quickly take um, Jarjeet's question. Okay. Jarjeet says, "Do CBP know if I have entered USA multiple times before? Will they know the type of visa I have when I enter before, since I enter with J1?"
Yes, all to all that question, they will know. They will know that information. Mhm.
Right. Okay. So it's a simple answer. Yes, Georgie, they will know. Right. So, okay. Aman is here, and Aman says, "Help me, please. Question regarding explanation box. Rejected 3 years ago. Is this a good word to put on the explanation? Reason why rejected?" Okay. I think you already answered that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to read all that. I would just say 214B. I would not have any sort of explanation for it.
Mm.
Um, and if the officer asks you what has changed or why were you refused, just be like, I'm not certain, and then just go into why you're traveling to the United States. Okay, don't make it bigger than it is. Try to leave that refusal in the past.
Okay. All right. So, Aman, I hope you've got the answer. Thank you so much for your question. But he says, "I have graduated, worked, able to sponsor myself and more." Okay. All right. I think we have already taken that. Let's take Alay's question. So, Alay Patel is here. He says, "I'm working on L1B visa and my project work is about to complete. Can I apply for B1, B2 visa while I'm already in the US to extend my stay for 2 to 3 more months?"
You need to go back to your home country to apply for a B-1, B-2 visa. If you want to talk to an immigration attorney while you're in the United States about your options, please do that since you're on L-1B and in the country.
Okay. So, Alaya, I hope you have got the answer. Thank you for your question again. And let us know where you're watching this live session from. So, Pradyuman is back again and he says thank you because you answered his question, and I hope and I think he's satisfied. Okay. Mishob. Okay, Mishob is here and he says, I am studying master's degree in Russia with fully funded scholarship by Russian government. I will graduate next year and my cousin inviting me to visit her. What is my chance? My interview is in August.
Okay. I can't tell you your chances. It really depends. So you're studying in Russia. I'm not sure what if your home country is also in Russia. I can tell you the parameters they look at. They're going to look at who you have in your home country, how you're going to finance your trip, whether or not you have a job after graduation, who your cousin in the United States is, how they got to the United States, what their circumstances are might come into question, how long you're planning on staying in the United States, if you've ever traveled before. So all these factors are going to come into play when the consular officer is adjudicating your B-1, B-2 visa.
Right. So maybe if you can give us more details, right, about your situation, Mishob, and if you can answer whatever, you know, Yvette was asking you. So if you can answer those questions, maybe then Yvette will be able to help you more with your question. Meanwhile, let's take Chrissy's question. So Chrissy says, hi, thank you for what you're doing. Would it be a plus that I have been to the US before on a J1 visa 5 years ago and I did not overstay my time? Also, I have a child and a job with a stable income. Okay. I think we have another part to it. Um, okay, I think that's it. We don't have.
Generally,
Yeah.
generally, if you've held a visa before and you used it well, that is a good sign, but you're still going to be adjudicated based on why you want to travel to the United States, how long you want to stay, and how you're going to finance your education as well. So just because you've had a J1 in the past doesn't necessarily mean that you're for sure going to get a visa, um, or that it's very positive. But it's great that you used it well, but you're still going to be adjudicated on the same parameters for a B-1, B-2 visa as everybody else. Hope that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. Chrissy, I hope it makes sense to you too. And I think Yvette has answered the question. So thank you so much for that. Let us know if you have another follow up. And Mishob is actually, I don't know, I think he posted it already and we couldn't take it. So he says, I will go back to visit my family on my summer vacation to Kenya. And my interview will be there. I want to go to the US for 2 weeks. I think he's from Kenya.
Right. Yeah. So I can't really tell you your chances. Thank you for the additional information. When you go back to Kenya, they're going to ask you what you're currently doing. Mention that you have a scholarship in Russia, what you're doing in Russia. Make sure you're mentioning all of your family ties in Kenya, and your finances and the reasons you have to return either back to Russia or what you're going to be doing back in Kenya. So the consular officer is going to want to know, if you graduated from Russia, what's next for you? What are you going to be doing? So the strength of that answer will be a good determining factor for the consular officer. If you have already a job from a company in Kenya, after your scholarship from Russia, maybe bring your transcript or your graduate certificate from Russia. Say I graduated with a 4.0. Now I have this job offer in Kenya. Before I start working, I want to go visit, my cousin in the US. Okay. That's building a better story. So the more
Right.
of those points you have, the better chances you have.
Okay. So, Misho, I hope you have got the answer. Let us know if you have another follow up. And I think by now, all your questions, you must have got the answer for all your questions. So thank you so much again for tuning in and watching the show. Pradyuman says for 214B clarification, I've already submitted my application. Do I need to create DS 160? I have already scheduled the interview in September month.
So every single time you go for a visa interview, you need another DS 160 and you need a brand new application. So if you've had a refusal before, you'll have to recreate, have another DS 160 and go for another biometrics and, / visa interview appointment. So that's how it works. You have to pay your visa fee again as well.
Okay, all right. So, Pradyuman, thank you again for your question. Thank you for again tuning in and watching the show. I hope you're enjoying it. And now, I have a question actually. So, this is from one of the viewer who attended our last webinar and was not able to get the answer. So, he connected with me on WhatsApp and he said, "When are we going to have our next show with Yvette?" So, I said, on this day, I informed him, and this is what I have from him. I have attended your webinar on YouTube, but due to lack of time, I could not get answers. Please answer my questions. So, okay, I am unable to read it because the screen is okay.
That is so many questions.
Right, it is.
Okay, I
Yeah,
think, is he watching now?
I think he is because I informed him and he said I am going to tune in definitely.
Okay, I think
So
you need to book a consultation with me. You have a lot of questions, and there's no way I can cover these questions, and they're not B1, B2 related. So I think go on my website, please book a consult with me. I also have a very affordable 10-minute session, so you can actually just pay a small fee and have 10 minutes with me if you want to just clear your queries and you don't want to pay for a 30-minute or a 1 hour. So I have that option on my website. It sounds like it might be perfect for you. So that
great.
was a lot of questions. Yeah.
Yes, he's going to have his interview on, I think, June 12th. So maybe
Okay.
the
Yeah.
consultation can help him.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So thank you so much. Prithvi Raj is his name. So Prithvi Raj, thank you for your question. And you can book the consultation with Yvette. Go to her
Mhm.
website, UdetiVisa.com. And you can also apply the promo code IT People for 15% off. And she'll be there to help you. And now let's quickly take, okay, Aman Joshi's question. So Aman says, rejected 3 years ago. Is this a good word to put on the explanation? Okay, I think we already took this, right?
I think people are asking the same question. Just write 214B in the explanation box for a prior refusal. I promise this is the best way to go because too many people are just writing too many things and it's going to either confuse the consular officer or really highlight your refusal. You want that refusal not to be like in their face as much and then they're going to read what you wrote and then the past cases. If you just write 214B, it's going to be a lot smoother, in my opinion.
Right. Okay. So Aman, I hope you have got
We
the
already
answer, and also we already took this. So maybe Minesh. Minesh says, I have pending asylum application and my parents will have interview for B-1, B-2 visa. What should they say in the interview about me and my status?
They should always answer the consular officer truthfully. Generally, older applicants have better approval rates. They may not get asked. They may not get asked directly if you are, having an asylum claim. They just might. They just might say, okay, is he a green card holder, or it's probably going to come up. They should be honest, what you're doing, that that you have a pending asylum application, and that they should stress that they just want to visit you, that their intent is just to go for 2-3 months. So with older applicants, so this is why answers don't apply to everyone. So if an older applicants have better approval rates, they can stay 2 to 3 months because maybe your mother-in-law, your mother, she's a homemaker, she has that time off, she has to go back to the home country. That's different than somebody who's young saying they want to go for 2 to 3 months. So I'm just making that clear. So if your parents want to go for a month, 2 months, and they're older, they're beyond working age or almost at the end nearing retirement, the consular officer is going to assume that they're not going to work in the United States. So that works in their favor. So if they just really stress the fact that they have something in their home country, whether they're a government employee and it ties them to their home country, they have their own shop, etc., and then discuss how you're earning in the US and maybe how you're helping them pay for the trip, or if they have really strong finances and they can fund themselves, and that's also great. So always like be truthful and forthcoming. It's better than trying to hide it, because they can always ask, like, does he have a visa? Does he have a copy of his green card? Does he have a copy of his US passport? And if they're not able to answer those basic questions, then they may lose their chance of ever visiting you on a B-1, B-2 visa. If you want to wait until your asylum application has been approved and you're in a stronger status and you can show them, give them W-2s, and you have, instead of being in a pending application for asylum, wait until you have your green card. Maybe wait, but definitely don't put them in a position to lie, because that could prevent them from ever visiting you again. So yeah, focus on the visit, focus on their ties, maybe wait until you're in a better position, or just chance it if their ties are really good. Meaning, if your mom and dad are government employees, doctors, they have multiple properties, so you have to gauge the situation. If they don't, if maybe they're farmers or they don't have property, and maybe their ties are not that strong and their finances are not that strong, then make the decision of waiting until your application clears, and that will give them a little bit more positive points. So that's how I would approach it, Manish.
All right. So, Minesh, well, that was a lengthy answer, but it was all worth it. And thank you so much for the answer, Yvette. I hope, Minesh, you have got everything clear now. And thank you so much for your question. And if you have a follow up, I don't think we have much time, but still, if you want, you can post the follow up. Deepika is also here. She says, I know it might not be related, but how do I convince myself that rejection is not the end of the world? After 3 F1 refusal, I started questioning my self worth, developed trauma, and just want to, do we have another part? Just want to sleep for a long day. All the hard work, pain, money for visa, agent, transportation, and all just vanish. I really don't know what went wrong. They do, in fact, do mass rejection sometimes, but it really hurts. What do you have to say, Yvette?
It's, everybody gets rejected, and it's not a reflection of your self-worth at all. And it's not a reflection of anything that has anything to do with you. The consular officer doesn't know you personally. They barely get a chance to know you at the visa window. Many people making lots of money, going to excellent schools, completely genuine, get rejected every day because the system is inherently flawed. The interviews are very fast. Like we heard earlier, documents can't always be verified. It's difficult to tell who's telling you the truth, who's not telling you the truth. So there's a mix of people getting rejected every day. It's not a reflection on you in any way. It's certainly not the end of the world. There are other countries that can be explored. There's other opportunities within your home country. And then also, like, think about I know that you put in like so much effort up until this point, but whatever goals you had in the United States may not have come to fruition. Trump is becoming president, so maybe OPT is no longer going to be on the table, or maybe H-1Bs will no longer be available. So if you had those dreams and they don't come to be, then maybe you made that investment, and a lot of people are now finding it's a lot harder, or it's not what I expected. Now think about 50 lakhs or 60 lakhs or 80 lakhs that you were going to invest in your US education, and what you can do with that money in India. You can literally start your own business and just be a boss. So you know what I mean? Like, it's all, we've been taught to want so many things, but if you melt all that away, you don't need to want anything.
Right.
You really don't. You really can be content exactly where you are and look at your circumstances from a completely different lens at all times. So, so just chin up, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, Deepika, it can be disheartening, but don't lose hope. A rejection is not the end of the world. And Yvette can also say this, right? And it is not the end of your
Mhm.
journey. It is not the end of your world. So use it as an opportunity to maybe learn and improve, right? And
Mhm.
many people face rejections, right, Yvette?
Yeah,
And before they ultimately succeed, they
yeah.
go through
And
rejections. It's only been 3 times. Maybe there are a lot of areas maybe where you need to improve, and where you need to better yourself, right?
write me an email, Deepika. Tell me what happened. And
Yeah,
if you're in a position, just write me an email. Just write me a quick email. Tell me what happened. I'll respond. I'll tell you. I think you should wait a little bit. So, or not. Or I think, or if I think your profile is strong enough, then I can recommend a consultation. If I think that you should wait some time, so it could be that like get a job, wait some time, and then apply for that program in a couple of years. And I know it really delays what you really want to do, but that's
yeah.
also an option
Mhm.
if you've been applying right away. So there are options that you can explore. Three denials is also not the end of the world if you really your end goal is a master's degree. So yeah, just drop me an email.
Yeah, and Deepika, please note down Yvette's email, yb@udetivisa.com. See, it is here displayed on the screen. Maybe you can write down her email, note it down, and write her
What
what
happened?
happened in those
Yeah.
3 times when your visa got rejected. Maybe she can help you with more details and more. She can help you with your situation. And let's quickly take another question. Okay, I think the time is already over, but maybe let's take one more, Yvette. So Coy is here and he says, Yvette, what if once put I have graduated and traveled to Japan, Fiji,
Okay.
etc. in explanation box? It might help the consular officers see how circumstances have changed and how much is 10 minutes consultation. Okay, since you mentioned 10 minutes consultation, that's why he wanted to know maybe.
Okay, the 10-minute consultation is $68. Uh, if you want me to answer that. But you can go on my website. I have different tiers, but yeah, 10 minutes is $68. And 214B in the explanation box. I'm not going to change my mind, Troy. Like I'm not going to change my mind. You just put 214B because look, you want to put I graduated and traveled to the Japan in the explanation box, but you really need to work on your interview
Mhm.
more. So the consular officer, if he wants to know why you were rejected, he's going to go to the previous case notes. He's not going to bother about what you're saying in the explanation box. Um, and the explanation box, it isn't saying what circumstances have changed. It literally just says explain. So it doesn't even really fit. So the consular officer may think, oh, this doesn't even fit. What is this applicant thinking? And now he's questioning your judgment. So that's why we're not putting any words. I don't want it's safer not to put any words so the consular officer doesn't question your judgment for what you're putting in that box.
Right. Okay. So, well, thank you so much for your question. I hope you've got the answer. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have today for your questions, guys. And I know you must be waiting for your turn, your question to be answered. But maybe in our next episode, next Friday, Yvette.
Yes, for sure. Also, I just remembered
Mhm.
that we put out a blog about B-1, B-2 visas, how to get your B-1, B-2 visa. It's like 3,000 words. It's way a lot of information, completely free. And we just posted it in our recent blog post. I don't know how we can kind of share it with people here easily. We can maybe put the link in the description. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let me give you, it's saying yes, you can. Let me give you the link. I'm going to give you guys the link. Just hold on. I'm going
Yeah.
to get
Maybe,
it for you.
yeah, my team can, post it in comment section for the people to
Mhm.
read it. And well, it was again a great episode. Thank you so much again, Yvette, for sharing your expertise with us today. And thank you to all our lovely viewers for tuning in such huge numbers and posting such amazing questions. Whenever we have an episode about B1, B2, we get a lot of, I mean, whether it is about F1, B1, B2, but we are having back to back B1, B2 episodes since last three webinars,
Mhm.
right?
But this one was about reject. This one was
This one was
about,
about rejection, right? Uh-huh.
yeah, about visa rejection. So yeah, we're open to other, and then I have other consular officers that can come on too. So Rajni, maybe I'll see either next week or the next week, the same time. Maybe we can either have Sammy or Eric come on, and I think that would be really fun too for you guys.
Wow, it's good. Thank you so much for that, Yvette. And I think, maybe we can also have a mega episode with you guys where all of you can join together. Maybe, we can also plan that. But surely you can give me their details and maybe I can connect with them and have them on the show. I'm sure it's going to be great, great episodes with them as well. But thank you so much again, Yvette, for your time and for also such great answers. It was again a great episode.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Everyone take care. Thanks, Rajni.
All right, and thank you so much, everyone. If before I go and before we end the session, I would like to talk about this important and fantastic opportunity that I have for you guys. Work just 2 hours a day plus Indian. Work just 2 hours a day and earn a monthly pay of 5,000 Indian rupees and 500 Indian rupees for every meeting that you attend. Earn up to 20,000 Indian rupees per month. Your responsibilities will include managing social media posts, creating engaging content, responding to messages, monitoring analytics, and conducting research and data entry. All you require is your own computer, a reliable internet connection, knowledge of LinkedIn, basic English writing skills, the ability to work independently, Aadhaar card, the ability to use your real name on social media. So with all that information, with all that requirement and responsibilities, if you're willing to work for 2 hours a day and willing to earn 20,000 Indian rupees per month, you can apply. And you can email to shravanti.shodavarupu@higheritpeople.com. So, yes, please apply and please grab this fantastic opportunity. And thank you so much again for tuning in. Like I said, in such great numbers, it was a great, great episode. And if you enjoyed this content, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. By subscribing to our channel, you'll never miss an update from Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. We bring you the latest news, tips, and expert advice on immigration and job opportunities. Your subscription helps us to continue to provide valuable content for you. So don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and our experts will reply for free. And thank you again for watching. We are going to have another great webinar on Monday. So don't forget to tune into that. And before I go, like I always say, keep subscribing and keep watching Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I'm your host, Rajni Bharara. Bye for now.
Consultant seeking a new opportunity? We offer job placement services for US citizens, green cards, EADs, and visa holders. We also sponsor various work visas like H-1B, E3, TN, and green cards. 20 plus years of experience in the industry. Exceptional employee benefits. Highly rated by our employees. Global presence with 200 plus recruiters and direct clients. Connect with us. Call us on the number 732-707-9151 or mail us at rajni@higheritpeople.com or visit our website www.higheritpeople.com.
Officer who adjudicated over 40,000 cases, I saw many applicants struggle to communicate their purpose of travel and finances during the visa interview. With better preparation, many could have secured their visa. At Udeti, I offer one-on-one visa interview strategy sessions. Let my experience be your guide so that you can ace your visa interview.